At 40, your testosterone crashes and your belly explodes unless you fight back. Fasting is how men rebuild mentally, physically, hormonally. This isn't a tip, it's a requirement if you want to stay sharp, strong, and lean. Here's how men over 40 weaponize fasting and win. Fellas, after 40, your body changes. Testosterone dips, metabolism shifts, and fat, especially visceral fat, starts clinging to your belly like glue. Add in stress, poor sleep, and years of snacking, and suddenly you feel a lot older than you actually are. But here's the truth. Aging doesn't have to equal decline. Fasting isn't about skipping meals. For men, it's a biological reset button. It sharpens your mind, reignites your metabolism, stimulates human growth hormone, the ultimate fat-burning hormone, and helps you melt fat while preserving muscle. Look, I get it. Us men, we're kind of stubborn. We think, I'll tough it out. There's no need to fast. But ignoring your health doesn't make you stronger. It makes you weaker. If you're tired of low energy, low sex drive, stubborn belly fat, and brain fog, fasting done right is the lever that flips this all around. And it isn't about vanity. It's about being a man who could lead, provide, protect, and live long enough to see your kids and grandkids thrive. So now let's get into the science of fasting for men. There are two important hormones that are vital at this time of your life: testosterone and growth hormone. Get this, research shows that completing a 24-hour fast will raise your human growth hormone levels by 2,000% in men. What does that mean for you? That means more muscle retention, faster recovery, and more efficient fat burning. Also, as we age, we become more insulin resistant. This makes fat storage easier. Fasting resets insulin, allowing your body to tap into stored fat, especially the belly fat. And a big key here is reaching the visceral fat. Visceral fat is a nasty type of inflammatory fat that accumulates around your vital organs, your heart, your kidneys, your liver, your pancreas. It applies pressure to these organs, which, when that happens, dramatically increases your risk of disease and symptoms. So that hard, white, visceral fat around your organs, fasting directly targets this. It lowers your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and even erectile dysfunction. There's also a mental edge when you practice fasting. You see, ketones are produced as a fasting fuel, which fuels your brain better than carbs and sugar, giving you sharper focus and peak mental clarity throughout the entire day. So here's a timeline of benefits of what you're going to see and notice when you implement the right fasting schedule, and I'll share with you what I believe is that right fasting schedule. After 7 days of fasting, you're going to notice the following. Hunger hormones like ghrelin begin to calm down. You'll have more steady energy without the need to snack and graze in between meals for a short burst of energy. And also, just after 7 days, your inflammatory markers begin to decline. After 14 days of fasting, your gut microbiome shifts. This improves digestion. This gets rid of acid reflux, bloating, GERD, constipation, diarrhea, any digestive issues you might be dealing with. That starts to dissipate. You also notice mental clarity sharpens at this point. You feel less foggy and more decisive. Your sleep quality improves. REM and deep sleep, which are crucial for growth hormone production, testosterone production, recovery, and detox, this starts to increase after 14 days. After 30 days of fasting, you'll notice a huge reduction in your belly fat, especially the visceral fat. Testosterone and human growth hormone are ramped up, so you'll notice improved libido, vitality, and performance. Strength training at this point feels easier, and you recover faster. Your mood improves, your discipline gets better, and you actually feel like you're in control again. So here's the fasting schedule that I recommend to all my Fat Loss Academy students for men that are over 40. What you want to do is perform an 18-6 daily intermittent fasting schedule. This means you fast for 18 hours and you eat for 6 hours. So what this would look like on your calendar is between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. is your eating window. You'll have 2 or 3 meals within that eating window. 12 p.m., let's say 3 p.m., and then 6 p.m. During your fast, you're not going to have any food. What's allowed during your fast in this scenario would be between 6 p.m. and 12 p.m. the next day is water, unflavored electrolytes, unsweetened tea, and even high quality coffee is fine. Now, it's also important to understand what to eat during your eating window. And what you want to do is focus on protein and fat and minimize your carbohydrate intake. This will make fasting easier. This will also accelerate your results, and it'll allow your body to achieve more mental clarity, metabolic flexibility, and ketone production during the fasting window. So an example of the perfect meal to eat at lunch would be steak and eggs, or a huge green leafy salad with maybe wild caught fish drizzled with olive oil and sea salt. Great idea. Or even a high quality protein shake. Another good option would be eggs with bacon, either turkey bacon or pork bacon. All great options. Now, on top of this daily 18-6 schedule, you want to complete a 24-hour water fast once a week. Most of my male students like to do this between Sunday and Monday, where they're done eating Sunday at 6 p.m. and they fast until Monday at 6 p.m. This supercharges human growth hormone, as I mentioned earlier, a 2,000% increase in this amazing fat-burning, anti-aging, muscle-preserving hormone. It also supercharges ketone production and allows you to achieve a process called autophagy. Autophagy is this cellular cleanup process that your inner physician, this great doctor you have within your cells, starts to clean out the junk. Think of Pac-Man going within your cells, looking for damaged cells, damaged mitochondria that are not producing energy well, that are not burning fat well, and it starts to fix it, especially during this 24-hour fast. Now, on top of this schedule, the 18-6 daily, the 24-hour fast once a week, every 90 days, every quarter, you want to complete a 100-hour fast. That's 4 days and 4 hours. There are some incredible benefits that happen throughout this timeline of a 100-hour fast. You complete digestion, obviously, around that 14-hour mark. You lower insulin. You create a process called energy diversion, which is one of my favorite benefits to fasting. You see, when you eat food, it takes a lot of energy to digest food and process that meal. When you are fasted beyond 14 hours and longer, you take the energy that would have been used for digestion and it's now being diverted for healing. You also get more autophagy. You get more human growth hormone. You also get this production of brain-derived neurotropic factor, BDNF, especially as you get around 30 hours into this 100-hour fast. BDNF is like miracle grow for the brain. I mean, you're going to feel like a rock star, so mentally clear and sharp, so focused, so productive. At the 36-hour mark of this 100-hour fast, you are accelerating fat burning. Your body's producing ketones, you're pulling fat from your organs, the visceral fat, and you're just crushing fat cells. 48 hours into this fast, you achieve a dopamine reset. So many guys out there are dealing with dopamine resistance. This is similar to insulin resistance. And when you have dopamine resistance, you have bad behaviors. You need a dopamine hit every few hours just to feel like your normal self. So you find yourself doom scrolling. You find yourself eating carbs, doing maybe even more addictive behaviors like drugs and alcohol. So it's been shown that at a 48-hour mark of a fast, you reset those D2 dopamine receptor sites in your brain. 72 hours into this 100-hour fast, there's an entire reboot in your immune system. That's right, your entire immune system is regenerated 72 hours in. 100 hours into this fast, you start to produce massive amounts of stem cells, and these stem cells are sent to areas in your body that need to be healed. And your body is so stinking smart, this innate intelligence will send those stem cells to your liver, to your eyeballs, to your brain, to your gonads. I mean, it'll send it wherever it needs to. And you get this incredible production of stem cells, which anti-ages your body. Now, you don't want to do a 100-hour fast every week, but once every 90 days on top of the daily 18-6 and the once a week 24-hour fast is an amazing protocol for you guys out there. Now, on top of that schedule, you want to lift heavy and smart. You want to incorporate or add into the routine here 3 times a week of a resistance training workout. Now, it depends on where you're at on your activity level. If you have not been working out at all, then that resistance training could be your own body weight. Body weight squats, push-ups, chair dips, use your own body weight. If you're already working out, then you could use dumbbells, barbells. You could use actual weights to accelerate the production of testosterone, growth hormone, and fat loss. It doesn't have to be an hour in the gym. These 3 sessions per week of strength training could be 30 minutes and every other day, where you do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's your routine. And when you break your fast, you want to make sure you're breaking it with protein and fat. a protein shake, bone broth, eggs and avocado and bacon. These are great options to break a fast with. And you could actually do your strength training workouts during your fasting window. And if you do decide to do that, you'll actually get more fat loss. On top of that, you want to prioritize sleep and recovery. Aim to get about 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. And I would highly recommend you track your sleep to make sure you're getting enough deep and REM sleep. I use an Oura ring to track my sleep. You could use an Oura ring, and I'll drop a link for it down below, or an Apple Watch, or a Fitbit, or a Whoop band. But you want to aim to get 90 minutes of deep restorative REM sleep and 90 minutes of deep restorative stage 4 sleep, which is called deep sleep, every single night. Now, with that being said, let's add in some hacks to maximize your results. Salts and minerals are very important to consume during your fast. You want to support your body with electrolytes to avoid fatigue or fogginess or headaches during your fast. So get a high quality salt, a high quality electrolyte product or mineral product, and drink that with high quality water during your fasting window. You also want to go for a walk, a 10 to 30 minute walk after your biggest meal of the day to maximize digestion, what's called postprandial glucose, and more fat loss. Look, belly fat isn't just about looks. It's about your future as a man. It's a sign that your hormones are off, that you've got inflammation, that your routine is not working for you. Visceral fat raises your risk for stroke, Alzheimer's, erectile dysfunction, and even heart disease. Fasting gives you back control. It restores your edge. It makes you the man that your younger self would admire. Now, I'm going to address the questions you submitted on this topic. Before I do, I want to give you a free resource to maximize what I just taught you. This is important. If your belly fat hasn't moved in months, even though you've been doing everything right, it's really not your fault. You've been lied to. The real problem is visceral fat, insulin resistance, metabolic dysfunction, and no one's shown you how to fix it until right now. I just gave you a great fasting protocol, but you want to add this free 7-day guide, which is going to flip your fat burning switch on with 0 calorie counting, 0 guesswork, and meals so simple it feels like you're cheating. This is your body's reset button. If you're sick of starting over, click the first link in the description box below, or if you're watching on YouTube, scan the QR code on the screen and take your control back. This free PDF is the world's easiest breakfast diet. You want to break your fast with these meals that I've outlined for you. This isn't just a diet. It's the last one you'll ever need. Now let's get to your questions. Can I still build muscle if I'm lifting weights while fasting, or will I lose muscle? The body is very smart. It doesn't want to tap into muscle as an energy source when you have all this body fat. So it raises human growth hormone, as I mentioned, during a fast, which preserves your muscle. And you tap into more belly fat, body fat, stored energy when you strength train during a fast. Now, if you go into a 24-hour fast without doing the prep work like the 18-6, that could be problematic because you haven't achieved metabolic flexibility. But the way I outlined this routine for you, 18-6 daily, if you do it this way, you will not tap into muscle. You'll tap into body fat, and you could actually build muscle. Is fasting safe if I'm already lean and under 15% body fat? Yeah, I'm under 15% body fat, and I follow the schedule I just gave you. I do it for health. I do it to maintain my youth. I do it to maintain my body fat percentage and to optimize my hormonal health. And that's the same thing I'd recommend for you. Should I take supplements, creatine, amino acids, electrolytes during the fasting window, or will they break a fast? Okay, creatine does not break a fast. Electrolytes, if it's unflavored, does not break a fast. Apple cider vinegar, great to have during a fast, doesn't break the fast. Essential amino acids, I would recommend you have with your eating window because they typically have leucine, and in some cases, you could lose some of the autophagy benefits when you consume leucine. But the other items are safe. During a fast, they will actually support the fast, not break it. Is fasting safe for men who already take medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes? If you're on a medication, this channel is not intended to give any medical advice. You would have to speak with your prescribing doctor when you make any dietary changes, including a fasting schedule. But I will tell you this, I have a lot of Fat Loss Academy students who take medication and fast. They just make sure they monitor their meds, and they actually end up on less medication and a lot of times de-prescribed off their medication because they've healed their body. But work with your doctor on that. How do I handle intense hunger or cravings during the first 2 to 3 weeks? Well, when you eat more protein and fat, less carbs, it really puts a dent in those cravings. But here's what I want you to understand about hunger during a fast. Hunger is just a hormone, ghrelin. That's the name of the hunger hormone. All hormones, including this hunger hormone ghrelin, is pulsatile. They are pulsatile, meaning you might feel hungry, and if you distract yourself for 10 or 15 minutes, get on a sales call, go outside, do something to distract yourself. After about 10 to 15 minutes, that hormone drops down, hunger goes away. Can I combine fasting with keto, carnivore, or low carb, and which is best for me as a man over 40? Yeah, low carb keto, great to combine with fasting. Carnivore, even better. So if you're already doing those diets, adding in this schedule will actually enhance your results. It pairs very nicely. That's the protocol, fellas. Follow it. Come back here. Let me know how it goes for you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you love this lesson and want to learn more about why I believe the number one cause of obesity and weight gain is not sugar and carbs, it's something else, check out this recent keynote I did in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. Here's the full keynote. Here's a clip from that keynote, and then click the video on the screen, and I'll see you in that next lesson. And what's interesting about that amount of healthcare spend, 4.6 trillion, 1 out of every $4 is spent on diabetes, primarily type 2, which is 100% preventable and 100% reversible. And get this, only 2 countries in the entire world allow pharmaceutical companies to advertise on TV.